Hi there, welcome to Floating in Books. Welcome to my winter haul. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. This is going to be a haul of all the fashion items that I bought in the past couple months to update my wardrobe for fall. And we have another theme. Oh yes, the theme of this haul is replacing items with better options or items that I used to own that I've actually repurchased. So I'll explain everything in a second. Part of this is going to look absolutely insane to a lot of people because I bought not one, not two, but just too many pairs of shoes. So let's just get to this haul. So before we get to the actual items, some of them are on the rail behind me, some of them are sitting around here on my dresser. I did do a little bit of shopping in the past couple of months. About half of the items are from Vinted. The other half are items that I did buy new. And as I mentioned in the intro, this is the haul where I have laid the focus on replacing items. Either replacing items that I have found in better quality, or I have decided to buy things that I used to own before and now I've purchased them either again or in better quality items. So especially towards the end of the rail, that's where I've gathered most of the things that I used to own and that I've repurchased. These are the 4 or 5 items that I've decluttered over the years that I was still thinking of regularly. Where I was like, this outfit would be so good if I still had item XYZ. And some of these items I decluttered for very obvious reasons, not because I wasn't wearing them all that often, but they weren't really quite the right shade, or they had gotten a little bit smelly over time as well, or I didn't really know how to style them up very well, because one of those purchases was a blazer, and I didn't get into blazers until like 2 or 3 years ago. So I actually had blazers, but found I wasn't wearing them in my like 10, 15 years ago. I had this blazer that I loved, so I've repurchased it. So yes, a lot of this is vintage, so you're not going to be able to find most of it. So I'm going to start with the things that I bought from regular brands, and there's actually one item that's overflow from the last haul I did that I forgot to show you. So let's get organized and start with accessories first. So here's the first item I want to show you. I did place myself an order with Lucy and Yak in the late fall because I had been eyeing up their fleece lined, their fleecy jackets for some time now. It's an item that they're very much known for doing in fun colors and prints, and they did a restock of their fleeces, and I found a couple of things that I liked. And then they had this deal, I think it was around Black Friday, that if you spend over a certain amount you would get free shipping and all that. And guess what? That's why I decided to add this really cute corduroy teal bag. It's crossbody, it's square. In a sense, it's very similar to the Uniqlo corduroy bags, the little more rounded shape to them. But because this is a rectangle, this fits a book, which the Uniqlo one doesn't always. It fits my e-reader just fine, but a book? And it does have a little zip at the front, so that's where you can put your travel card or anything like that, and then it just has one big thing. And the reason why I really like the Lucy and Yak accessory line is because they use leftover fabric from making the items that you can also buy, like their jeans and their jumpsuits and all that. But then they use the leftover fabric to make bags and scrunchies and toilet bags and stuff like that. So this has been a new go-to bag for me, together with my khaki green Uniqlo bag. So this has come in very handy. Did I need it? No, but it did qualify my order for getting extra money off, essentially. So, and a Vinted find that I bought to replace a bag I broke in September is this leather backpack. So I had a very similar style small backpack that I had bought from Stradivarius I think 5 or 6 years ago, and the strap here in the back just broke clean off. There was just a huge rip along the seam here, so stitching it back together was nearly impossible. It was faux leather as well, so it wasn't going to hold up anyway. And I had already bought that bag because I used to own a very similar style from Forever 21 that was also faux leather that I also really liked. So I knew that the style of bag would really work for me, but because it's a bag that I'd had for like more than a decade, I also knew that it would probably be time for me to be buying it in a leather, in a slightly bigger size, but vintage as well. So this is from a Spanish seller on Vinted. I think they do several things. It has this smaller compartment here at the front. It has the clasps, but it does have like a popper style here. Let me undo the other one. And then when you open the flap, it has a zip. And that has been my thing with a lot of like leather backpacks, is that they don't have that extra security of the zip. And this one is really nice and spacious. There's another zipper inside, and there's a zipper pocket here at the back. It has been a little bit stinky. It's probably pretty old leather that has been stored for a long time. So when I got it, I was like hanging it outside every single day to get the wind to like air it out. And I also gave it a clean with some polish, and that has taken down the smell significantly. But it still sort of smells like deteriorating animal hide, you could say. Like it smells like when you're like in a stable, like around cows, it smells like that. So it's not the best smelling bag, but I just know that it's going to smell less and less and less the more it gets to air out. And I know you can also clean leather with white vinegar, and that's something I want to do this spring to give it another clean, but right now it's just too cold to be hanging it outside. So when the weather turns a bit nicer, I'm going to give this a clean with white vinegar to see if that can help with the smell. But by now it doesn't smell so obviously bad anymore that I can pretty much use it out. So a really nice vintage leather backpack in a style that I love. And this was about as expensive as getting a bag from H&M or something like that. Like it was, I think 40 or 50 euros. It wasn't that bad for a leather bag, you could say. And the smell is something I can deal with. But the next section of the haul is where you're going to be questioning my life's decisions, because I got so many shoes. Some of them are from Vinted because I wanted to give it a shot to see whether I can find good things there. With secondhand clothing, I don't mind a lot, say for like underwear, sport, like workout stuff, and shoes typically. I did a huge shoe declutter towards the end of 2024. But I did already film it like a lot earlier than you saw it, and there were just some shoes, styles of shoes that had been on my wish list for some time. So I decided to just buy them all. Some of them went in a sale, some of them came into stock over like the Christmas season. So yes, I bought a lot of shoes. I'm not gonna apologize. This is just what I felt I needed. So let me show you my 2 Vinted finds. Because something that was still on the wish list, kinda, but I knew I was only gonna do it if I could find the right things, were cowboy boots. Look at how stunning these are. These are by Sendra. I believe they are a Spanish brand, if I'm not mistaken. I found them on Vinted for 50 euros. Yes, they had been worn, but not a lot. Like you could tell that these have only just begun breaking in. So that's why I can buy them. And I was very much afraid like buying these new, because the new retail price on this exact pair, because I was able to find it online, is 350 euros. I mean, they're fun, but how often am I going to be wearing green with an eagle or butterfly design cowboy boot? Not a lot, let me tell you. So I was like, I'm willing to pay 50 euros for it. And I found these, and they were actually shipped by someone who lives in the same town as me. So look at how absolutely gorgeous these are. They are in great condition. The leather is a little bit scratched here in the back, which I don't mind. Like for how often I'm going to wear these, it's not going to be a huge deal. And I wore them already. They were super comfortable. Wore them on New Year's Day, and everyone in my family was like, your shoes are amazing. So got myself a really snazzy pair of boots for a lot cheaper on Vinted. And then the theme of replacing things in your wardrobe that you maybe already owned or used to own and you were missing it in your life. Blue velvet boots. I have blue velvet boots, but they have silver stars in them. And I used to own a pair of crushed velvet navy blue, like a Chelsea boot style, but they had a zip rather than like the elastication that these have. And they were from ASOS and they were really cute, but they were too narrow. I've got pretty wide feet, so that's always something to take into account whenever I do shop for shoes. And because they weren't like real leather or anything like that, they just weren't stretching out. So whenever I wore them, my feet would be absolutely in pain. So I decluttered them. I think not even this time around, but like 2 declutters ago. I was like, you know what? Sometimes I just want a blue shoe and I don't have any. Like nothing that screams like, look at me, I'm crazy. And then I found these on Vinted, new, in the box, for 25 euros. Are they cheaply made shoes? Yes, but are they in absolutely pristine condition? I haven't used them yet, like I haven't worn them out, so, and I'll wash my hands after filming this video, people, so don't you dare say anything about me touching the bottom of these shoes. I'm fine, okay? So it's just navy blue Chelsea boots. These I've only bought for style reasons. They are a little bit wider fit than the ones I used to have, so I'm pretty solid that these will be fine. I love the way they taper in the front, but they're not too narrow. And the navy is stunning. I do need to keep these inside of my drawer though. These are gonna be dust magnets for sure. So that's why I do like to keep them a little bit safe and out of the way. And if I find the right opportunity, I will be wearing these for sure. Another pair of shoes on my wish list were a pair of navy, preferably trainers. And I really wanted them to be Adidas Special, or Adidas, as we say in Dutch, because you can pronounce Adidas in many different ways. But yeah, I have Sambas, I have Gazelles, and I was really looking for like a darker pair of shoes, and then they did these. They came in stock around Christmas time, and I had been like eyeing up like different colorways of different types of shoes, and I was like, you know what? I really want another like more casual navy blue shoe. So I have a pair of boots. I now have a pair of sneakers as well, and they have the navy blue. I think it's Indigo is the name of the shade, and then it also has the blue stitching, which I like, with the white details and the darker like gray sole, because is it my Sambas? My Sambas have like the gummy sole, like they have the tan sole, like the little brown ones, and a lot of the Special ones have that too. These are a little bit more comfortable than the Sambas, I feel. They're not as flat. They have a little bit more cushion, as you can see off to the side. So I think these may actually be more comfortable than the Sambas are, but again, more so for style reasons. These are really lovely, and I didn't own a pair of navy blue sneakers yet. So that was something I discovered when I was decluttering my wardrobe, that the navy blue department in my shoe collection really dwindled down over the years. Maybe I need to look into a pair of navy blue boots in like a leather. But that's really hard to find, I have found. Like the color of navy that I like so many of them look very gray toned, which I don't love. So yeah, if you know of a good navy blue boot, let me know. And then if you will be seeing some of the cutaways that I filmed with some of the bottoms I have for you in this video, you will be seeing me wearing my Birkenstock Bostons that are my house shoes. I have a pair of the Birkenstock Bostons in the felt material that I wear as slippers around the house. And they are a life changer. I have not been wearing anything else because they're warm enough for me in the winter time. If I wear them with socks in the summertime, I wear them barefoot. They have been a staple ever since I've been wearing them. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I should get them in the leather so I can wear them out the house. So I found myself in Düsseldorf at the end of November. It was Black Friday that day. I didn't get a deal on these because Black Friday isn't a thing in Germany. But it's good to go into that Birkenstock store, I feel, because they have all the colors and you can really see what they have. because sometimes I feel that the shades of the leathers can look a slightly different way online. So I went into store and got the tobacco, I think they're called. The sort of like taupey brown wax leather Boston clogs. I was umming and ahhing like between the suede version of this and this one. I really like the look of the suede, but I was like, if I'm gonna wear these out and they get wet or anything like that, I don't think I'm gonna like it much. And these I think are going to be perfect with like a nice little sock in like the springtime. And this is such a throwback to me. Like, this is a very nostalgic haul, as you will see, because back in the day when I went to the US for college, I did an exchange semester in 2005. Everyone on campus was wearing this shoe with a pair of like thick knit woolly socks. That was the look, that was all the college girlies were wearing underneath their pajama bottoms, and I didn't understand it at the time. But now I do. So I want to go and do that look, even though it's like 20 years down the line, but I think it's going to be a comfortable way for me to be wearing it. So Boston clogs are in the house. And you can't say now and talk about Mary Janes. I love a good Mary Jane. It's just that a lot of the styles I had either really high heels or they had just been beaten up. So I had to declutter them over the years. And Mary Janes were back. And I was like, you know what? I like a good Mary Jane. But then I was like looking at my shoe collection when I was decluttering. I was like, I really only have these velvet golden toned ones that I got from ASOS in a sale a couple of years ago. I was like, is that really what I want to be wearing every day? And I was like, probably not. Let's invest in some leather ones. And then I found out that one of my favorite shoemakers, which is Vagabond, does this really pretty style. I really wanted the burgundy, so that's the pair I got first, because I really also was eyeing up the silver, and then they did these in the sale, and I wore them the other day to work, and they were super comfortable. You'll see an outfit with these already, because I did already film. I'm like in the midst of filming a week in outfits for you guys, so that's gonna be going live next week. And these shoes are going to be featured because I had to wear them straight away, and I have pretty wide feet, so for me, it can be really difficult to find styles like this. But yeah, for me, it's been great. The silver ones are super shiny and sparkly. And then I have them in the patent burgundy shade. I was in a Vagabond store last summer because I was in Sweden, and they are a Swedish shoe brand. I have plenty of their other shoes. Their Grace Chelsea boot is on my feet most of the time if I want a heeled Chelsea boot. Like, they do so many good shoes and they're really comfortable, but at the time they didn't have anything like it. It was part of their fall collection apparently. So I'm really glad I got these, and the silver ones were on sale. When I bought these, I was like really making up my mind between the silver and these, and I was like, you know what, the silver I'm only going to buy if they go in a sale, and they were like 30 or 40% off, so it was a good deal. And here's where you're gonna think I'm insane, but this is for the channel. We all know that besides Vagabond, my other favorite shoe brand is Dr. Martens. Doc Martens, whatever you want to call them. And they have brought back some styles that I was eyeing up. So let me talk you through. Remember the Mary Jane thing? Tried these on when I was in Düsseldorf. Didn't decide to get them yet. So I got them a little bit later. But yeah, these are the Doc Marten Mary Jane in the classic style. I also have a black pair in the poly style because they do different styles of Mary Janes. But these have like the brogue detailing, the double strap, and these are in their brown crazy horse leather. And that's the thing that they have been doing more and more. They used to only do black and like their cherry red color, but they didn't do a lot of brown shoes. But then I bought the Crazy Horse Chelsea boots in the same style leather, and I also have their backpack in the Crazy Horse leather. And I really love it. This is supposed to look more worn in as you're wearing it, so it's not supposed to look pristine, and I really like that look. It's apparently a leather that's inspired by like horse saddles. That's why it's called Crazy Horse. And you'll see that it's one of my favorites. Style of shoe from Doc Martens that I had been eyeing up for quite some time, but that I didn't want to bite the bullet on, was their church monkey boots. So these are a little bit of a crazy style. These have the contrast stitching. They also do them in like suedes, and they do them in loads of different renditions. I almost bought a pair in the sale last year that was like animal print on like this hairy texture. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna wear that much. And this year they did them in the vintage smooth, I can't talk today, in the black with the contrast stitching. These were a little bit more pricey, I have to say. I've already scuffed the toe on these, but I really like them. These definitely look like orthopedic shoes. Like they're not, they're not for everyone. I do think this is one of the more Marmite styles they have, but I really like the look of these. I really like how this leather is cut. I really like how they have the stitching. And with Doc Martens, we all know you need to break them in, but because these have the floppy leather in the back, they were soft instantly. No pain, no blisters. I've already worn them several times to work and it's been absolutely fine. What is going to need some breaking in are these Crazy Horse leather loafers. These are the Adrian style. I already own 2 of these. I have them in the Arcadia leather, which is this really nice burgundy red shade that also like rubs down into this brighter red shade whenever you're wearing it. And then I also have it in like a navy green and yellow. But then they did it in the Crazy Horse leather as well. And these went on sale. So I wasn't going to buy these when I wanted to get them. Like they were on the wish list, but I was like, I'll buy them a couple of months down the line. And then they went into sale and I was like, right, I'm gonna snatch these up because I don't have any brown loafers. True. I have so many shoes, but I didn't have brown loafers. So that's why I decided to get these, and they were in the sale. You can already see where I've tried them on, where my feet have been like pressing into the shoe. These are a snug fit. Like these are tight. These are going to need breaking in, but I had the same experience with the Arcadia version of these, that I could only barely fit my feet into them when they were new. Wore them to work for the entire day. I was like, I'm gonna take a risk. And they felt like slippers instantly. So I'm hoping it's the case with this as well, because it's quite a soft leather. So I think it will stretch out quite easily. By the way, what I didn't tell you about these Mary Janes, I got these to replace a pair of brogues that I actually had. In my shoe declutter, I was telling you that I was not sure whether I should keep a very old pair of ASOS brogues. And because these also have the brogue style and they're also in a brown color, I was like, these are going to be the leather version of that ASOS shoe that I've had for such a long time, but they're a bit dated, and I feel that these are a little bit more timeless and something that can work in my wardrobe a lot longer. Speaking of replacing Doc Martens, I made a bit of a boo-boo, I think about 2 years ago. At the time, I was really, really loving my black Emmeline boots, which is a really different style for Doc Martens. It's a little bit more ladylike, it's a little bit more sophisticated. And they did it in the black, and they did it in this cherry red Arcadia color. And the black ones I loved. I was really not sure about these 2 colors when I bought the black ones first. They were super comfortable, and then they were discontinued. And then in the sales, they did the 101, which is a more clunkier version of the Emmeline, in that cherry red color, in the Arcadia leather, in a vegan. But it wasn't exactly my exact size. It was a size down for what I normally am in Doc Martens. The blisters I got on my feet from those. That one was one for the books, and that's just on me. I got a size down, which I shouldn't have done, but I really wanted that color and that style in my wardrobe. But guess what? They brought the Emmeline back, so I now have them in black, and I have them in the cherry smooth Arcadia leather. So this is again a style of leather. It looks really glossy, but whenever it's like going to rub your feet and whenever you crease these, the leather is going to brighten and it's going to look more red. So it's supposed to like rub off in a way, you could say. The other ones I have are supposed to do that as well, but I just haven't been wearing them. And like the church boots, these do not have like a chunky, like some Doc Martens will have this like rubberized edging to the leather at the top. These don't have it. And these are again super comfortable. The black emelines again did take no breaking in. I could just throw them on, and I have high hopes that these red ones will do the same thing. I bought these online, and I'm gonna say that as a tip, because in the stores, when I've seen these in store, now that they're back, the tip is already that brighter red color, like it's done for you, you could say. And I didn't like the look of that, but then I ordered these online, and these just look like that really deep burgundy color. So either that's from like people touching the shoes, I'm not sure, or they sell a slightly different colorway in the stores than they do online. But yeah, these look almost black, but you can see when the light hits them that they definitely have more of a burgundy vibe, and they also have the burgundy stitching. Really like these, and I'm so glad they brought that style back, because if these had been around a couple of years ago, I would have opted for those and not the other shoes. So I think I need to declutter the other ones, or like try to sell them on Vinted, because I've only like worn them twice, and every time they've been so painful. And because they are vegan leather, they're just plastic, they have no give. Like they won't break in. So I definitely think with Doc Martens, if you go for the vegan options, it can be more difficult to break in than the leather ones. And finally, I told you this was gonna be crazy. Again, in the sale, they had some lovely things, but I was like, I don't have the budget right now, but maybe later this month. And then all of the things that I wanted to get sold out before I could buy them, really. And then I was just browsing their new in, and I found these. These are the Sinclair Quad, because they have a bit more of a platform sort of sole to them, in the crazy horse leather. Like, I haven't worn these out yet, but again, they feel super comfortable straight off the bat. I really like this like detailing with the zip. That looks really cool. You can just zip them up, so they're super easy to put on. You don't have to do up the laces or anything. And they also have this stitching across the toe box, which none of the other shoes I have from Doc Martens do. And I do have a pair of black, like 1460s, and I have a pair of cherry red 1460s, but I don't have that style of boot in a brown. These are in a brown. They're a slightly different style. I believe these are more aimed towards like women. I don't think this is a men's style per se. But Doc Martens are pretty much unisex. If they sell it in your size, you can get it, I feel. But yeah, the Sinclairs were one I didn't have yet. And I also think that this is a style that's been away for a while. Like, that's the thing with Doc Martens. Like, they'll do things, like their classic range is always there, but there are certain styles of shoes that they will do for like a hot minute, and then they discontinue them for like after a season, and then they bring them back. So the Sinclairs I haven't heard anybody talking about for a while now. Also haven't seen them in store. So I'm really glad to now have them again in the crazy horse leather, because that's my favorite leather apparently from Doc Martens. So that was the crazy section. Moving on to the clothes. Comparatively, I do feel I didn't get as many clothes because I just really like where my wardrobe now stands. I think I went ham on the shoes because after decluttering my shoes, I was like, there's some gaps here. I just need some new things. So that's why that happened. But yeah, I have some bottoms, and then we have some things I bought from like Uniqlo and Lucia Yak. And then I have my Vinted finds towards the end. So let me show you. So bottoms, I did get this one through Vinted. It's new with tags. The seller said this was only used for a fitting, and then they were no longer wearing it. I did film a cutaway for you with this one, so you can see it on. This is by Madewell. You can see the tag right there. And this is a crushed velvet pair of trousers. With trousers, I'm always curious, will it fit my petite frame? Because I'm only 5'1". I'm short, so that's why I was like, is it gonna be too long or not? But it's a perfect length, which means I don't have to shorten it, and it's got a very roomy waistband because it is elasticated. So I knew pretty sure, I was pretty sure it was gonna fit. And this crushed velvet burgundy shade, I just love the look of. These are super comfortable. I only picked them up today from the seller. This was the one item I was holding out on before filming this video. So let me take the tag off, because this is the tag that came that it came with in the store. So always great to find items like that. This was original price on this. So in case you didn't believe me, the original price on this thing was $98. I paid $12. And the only other bottom I bought is this skirt from Sézane. It's a little bit long for me. It's definitely made more so for tall people than short people, but this is a really nice brushed wool, almost like tweed style skirt in this lovely brown color. It was part of their fall collection. It's the only item I got from Sézane in like the last 6 months or so. They haven't really been doing many new things that make me really exciting. Excited, I should say. So yeah, this was really lovely. It sold out really quickly as well, so I don't think you can still find this on the website. But yeah, it is a really lovely color. Again, I have a cutaway with this that you will have seen by now, where it is on me. It is a bit of a tighter fit than I had expected with Sézane. I'm sometimes like the exact size that I think I am, and sometimes it runs a bit small. So this one is a little bit small, but it is fitting really nicely, and I already styled it up several ways to see how I might wear it. And I was like, yes, this is gonna work in my wardrobe. And I really wanted to own a longer skirt from Sézane, and I finally found one that I like on me. Next up is this blazer. This is an item I forgot to show you in my last haul. I was like, wait. And this was a vintage find. It's from Vinted as well, so vintage and Vinted. It's really beautiful check blazer, and I find these things on Sézane all the time, and then they're like close to 200 euros. This was 40, so I think that that's really good. It's a wool blazer, this really pretty style, in great condition. They shipped it to me super fast. I've already worn it out, and it works really well for the fall winter season. Let me put it on. So I've pitched you down just a little bit so you can see a little bit better what this looks like on. The jeans I'm wearing is just a pair of jeans I already own. They are by Urban Outfitters. They're by BDG, by that range. And here is what the blazer looks like on. It's a great length for me in the arms. It's why I started buying vintage blazers, actually, because a lot of the times the sleeve length on modern blazers is just too long for me because I'm so tiny. But with vintage blazers, it usually fits me really well, and I really like these shades, so this was an absolute great buy for me. Next up, I have this sweater for you. It's from Uniqlo. This was in their Black Friday sale when I was in Düsseldorf. It was like the only store in all of Düsseldorf that did do a Black Friday sale, so I do really enjoy this one. It's actually very similar to a similar style sweater I used to have. It just had a bit of a higher neck. It was from Zara. It just got really old and dinky looking, but it had this really beautiful tealy green shade. And I had been looking for something similar for a while. I already spotted these in Uniqlo last year, but then it was the end of winter and I was like, am I going to be buying, am I still going to wear it this season? Maybe they'll do it again. They did it again. It was on sale. It's their cashmere sweater, and it's in this really lovely color. It's really soft, really, really lovely. I did size up to get it in a size large, so it fits me a little bit better. I do still have the gray t-shirt on that I was wearing with the blazer because that's gonna go with some of the other things in a second a lot better. But yeah, that's why it's a little bit bulkier than it normally would be. But yeah, this is that Uniqlo sweater, and it's just really comfortable and exactly the shade I wanted it to have. In the let's buy things to replace things in my wardrobe train going, this Uniqlo souffle yarn sweater is a replacement for an H&M sweater that looks exactly the same that I already owned. The H&M one I had had for years. It was an acrylic. It didn't look that great anymore. It had shrunken as well, so it just wasn't as comfortable anymore. And this is just a really nice, comfy burgundy sweater because burgundy is the color of the fall winter season of 24-25. And so I knew I would be able to find something that would fit that bill, and that's why I got this one. So this is again Uniqlo, so something you could potentially still buy. Also from Uniqlo is this burgundy fleece vest. It's got a zip down all the way down. I have some fleece things already from H&M, but I was finding out that it was too limiting. So if that fleece jacket had been worn too many times and I would pop it in the wash, I had no other one, and I love wearing these things around the house. So that's why I decided to get some more fleecy things, because they're so comfortable for the winter time, and it means I don't have to turn up my heating. So it's a win-win really. So if it means I can save some money on my energy bill, then I'm really happy with it. So it zips up all the way to the top. It has a really nice high neck. It does have this elastication, so you can like hike it up like this, and it's just been super warm, super cozy. I already found out there's a bit of a stain here somewhere that apparently has already been in there, so this may have to just go in the wash. But yeah, I really like this burgundy shade, and like I said, it's from Uniqlo. Speaking of fleecy lined things, the queen of all things fleece is this brand, Lucy & Yak. I already showed you the bag that I got in the same order. This was in their sale. It was only 35 euros, and I was like, it's a bit cropped, so I do feel I need to layer a t-shirt underneath it in order for me to be like super comfortable and warm like with the Uniqlo one. But I was like, you know what, I like this colorway. It's orange, brown, and pink. I really like the pink. It's a little higher necked even than the Uniqlo one is. I am very afraid to get makeup on this thing though when I'm wearing it, so I'm mainly wearing it on days around the house where I'm wearing little to no makeup, because I don't want to like it touching my neck the entire time and like get smudged with makeup that way, because then these little corners are going to get really gross looking really quickly. But you will have probably already seen me wearing this in a couple of videos that I've been filming on the other channel, because I have already been wearing this loads. So I do apologize for my hair looking an absolute mess, but that's because I have to put all these things on over my head, and I'm really desperately trying to not smudge any of my makeup onto these clothes. But here's the other Lucy & Yak fleece that I got. Remember what I said at the start of the video? They do lots of fun print in their fleece things, and this leopard print was just calling out to me, was calling my name. I was hoping they would do a leopard print one this year, so I waited for it to come in stock, and I was like, yes. So this was a full price item. It is a little bit longer than the previous one. So I believe this is their Steve fleece vest. Really pretty. It has a little toggle down the side. The crop one has that as well. And then it has pockets, which is always lovely. And then it just has that full line. Again, a really nice high neck. This is so warm, soft, and cozy. And I do feel that these have slightly better, they don't have lining, but like they're better made than the Uniqlo ones. Like the Uniqlo one and also the H&M one I have, whenever there are seams, it feels a bit scratchy. And with this, it feels super soft still. So I do feel these Lucy & Yak ones are made slightly better than the other brands I've tried. And then we get to all of the Vinted stuff. I was looking for printed sweaters on Vinted. Actually, I found this one because I was looking for another sweater that you'll see in a second. I was trying to rebuy. But then I found out that Vinted is a great place for finding 100% wool items that are gonna cost you 150 or even more than that euros full price. But you can get them for as little as 30 if you buy them through Vinted. Now, I found a lot of these like Norse sweaters. They're made in like Nordic countries all over. There is a brand which I have the neck sweater by that's like all over Vinted that everybody seems to be promoting. This is by another brand. It was just sold by someone. It was apparently made in Sweden, I believe. I think the tag has the Swedish and Finnish and Danish and Norse names for wool on the tag. So I know it's real because of that. And this is just a 100% wool sweater, and I really like these metal hooks that it has, and then it just has this like almost wintry, Christmassy, Fair Isle kind of print. I really like this look. I like the gray with the red, and it's a nice printed sweater, and this is incredibly well made. I do find that these sweaters run quite small. So that's the only thing I did find out. So when I wanted to get another one, which is more of a cardigan style, I did size up. And here's the one that I bought more to wear open like a cardigan, which I think is really nice as well. I sized up to, I think, a large or an extra large in this. The other one was a medium. And this is by the brand that you see all over Vinted, which is Dale of Norway. Apparently they do lots of things. I also think there are a lot of knockoffs around for this one, because there's also a couple of brands that pop up if you search for this brand that do them in an acrylic. So definitely when you start looking for these items on Vinted, make sure there is an image of the tag, so that it says like the name and 100% wool, because some people will promote things as Dale of Norway and then they're actually not. But this is a 100% wool, sort of like cardigan sweater type of thing. Again, with these metal closures that the other one also has, but these go all the way down. And this is a black cardigan. It doesn't have like the snowflake detail, so I feel this is a little bit more universal, but I really like this colorful piping down the side. So these sweaters by this brand, if they're in excellent condition, they can go for a lot of money. They can be really expensive, so I always try to look for the deals. So it's maybe not the best one that they do, like they definitely do some more special things, but I'm not willing to pay 150 euros for a secondhand sweater. I'm not going to do that. So this was one of the pricier items I did buy in this haul. Like everything I show you from Vinted is like under 50 euros, else I don't really buy it secondhand. So, but this one I paid a little bit more money for, and it's definitely still in great condition. Love the black. I don't have that many black knitwear items in my wardrobe. I tend to not love black on me because it makes me feel like a blob. But this way I feel it's a nice print, and with the colorful piping, you can wear it with many different things. It's got blue, it's got red, it's got green, it even has a bit of yellow running through. So it goes with many things. And in case you're curious, this is what it looks like if you close all of these little metal closures, which I also feel are slightly better quality than the ones on the other sweater I have. This item got the next section of sweaters started that I got. I was looking for a new cable knit sweater because I found out this year that the cable knit sweater I owned from a vintage kilo sale wasn't actually wool, it was acrylic. And it also had like an emblem on the sleeve, which I didn't love. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have to look for a new all cream cable knit sweater. And then I found out that this style of sweater is native to Ireland. So we're taking another trip along Europe. We're going from the Nordic countries to Ireland. And I found this brand called Aran Crafts. I think that's what they're called. There's other brands like there as well, where they will say like Irish wool or whatever it is. And they do a lot of these like Irish sweaters. Like, I don't know if this is one of the handmade ones, because I had a look at their official website. They have machine knit ones and they have handmade ones. And the handmade ones are very expensive. So I'm not entirely sure if this was one of those, but it looks brand new. There's a bit of fluff here from putting it on just now, I think. Yeah, it's the ultimate cream cable knit sweater. Apparently there's like a whole bunch of lore about like the stitches that are in the knit pattern, because these are like classic Irish fisherman sweaters. And I just really like the lore behind it as well. This is really warm. It's 100% Irish merino wool. And because I like this one so much, I got two other things that are made in Ireland and really, really lovely. So I've given up on the hair at this point because it's a right old mess putting all of these things on. And I think I like this one even better. It's a slightly bigger size. It was advertised as an L. So a size large, but it was an XL when I got it, and the person modeling it was a man. So I think it's actually a men's size L, like large, which is a bit big on me. So it's oversized and chunky and really nice. But look at this color. Look at that mottled, lovely color. It has the same knit pattern as the other one, which I also enjoy. It's the perfect cable knit sweater. And the only thing that was wrong with it, which is why I got it for 30 euros, is because it was a hole in the sleeve that I was able to mend just fine. Like, I took my sewing kit out, I mended it, it was right here in the sleeve, and it was fine. Like, no other holes, nothing else wrong with it. It's super warm, really cozy. It doesn't get any better than this, and I've been saying this in so many of my videos. My office has been freezing this winter, especially after Christmas break. Our building was made in the 70s, like that's when it was built, and it just cools down so quickly over the weekend or when we are closed for Christmas, and it's like almost impossible to heat the building up again. So it's been super cold, and especially if I have to do a lot of grading. This has been great at keeping me warm and cozy, and I already wore it to work. And then as I was like looking for these cable knit things, I found this cardigan thing. Again, it was very affordable because it's not that classic fisherman style, but it is a cardigan style with, look at how cozy this is. Like, I was instantly warm when I saw this. It's again by that same brand as the first cardigan, where the first sweater was from, that Aran brand. It's 100% wool from Ireland. The mottled one was as well, and it has pockets. They do kind of like droop down, so I don't love that, but this is just great. I love where this is, and look at the little Celtic knot here on the zipper. How cute is that? And it has this huge collar, so you can like press it down like that. It's just, I really like this. It's maybe not the most stylish thing on the planet, but it keeps me warm, and sometimes I find that more important to be comfy than to look cute. So this is for the days where I'm like, you know what? I just want to be cozy, and this has been lovely for that as well. So remember what I said about this haul including a lot of items that I repurchased because I used to own them once, and then I missed out on them after decluttering them? That's this section. This is the blazer I was talking about earlier. It's this green blazer from Only with these really fun, I'm not sure if you can see, but these apple green buttons. It's just a felt sort of blazer. So this was a blazer I bought, like this was the first ever blazer I ever got my hands on in my life. And I remember buying it exactly before decluttering it because I bought it to celebrate getting my driver's license. And that was 20 years ago. I was 20 when I got my driver's license. So this thing is 20 years old, and I found it randomly again on Vinted. At the time I decluttered it because I always found it too warm and I wasn't wearing it. It's also quite fitted. So that's a thing. So it doesn't currently like fit me super well, but I think with the right styling, it can work. And I just really like the look of it. Like, it has the contrast buttons on the pockets here as well. I think at the time, like, this is a medium, and I think that may have been a reason why I decluttered it as well, that I felt it was just too tight. But nowadays I'm like, I have other blazers that do not close, and at the time I thought a blazer had to close, and I've fallen off of that belief. So I no longer believe that. I still think that this can work depending on what items I pair it with. And I was like, now I have it back in my wardrobe. I paid €3 for this. €3, which I think is pretty good. And it's for an item that's 20 years old from a fast fashion brand. This is in great condition. I just wish I had never decluttered mine. This is the item that got the whole, I want to rebuy things that I still think about often, but that I decluttered for whatever reason. This sweater, this is the thing that got that whole train started. It's from H&M. It's a men's sweater. I bought it very randomly years ago at a local H&M in store that was in my town at the time. I wore it a ton. You can go back to older videos on my main channel where I'm wearing this exact sweater. I decluttered it, I think about 5 years ago or so now, maybe even longer, because I think I did move it into this house. So I still had it when I moved here 7 years ago. So I think it was like 5 or 6 years ago that I got rid of it. I was wearing it so much that it got that really weird sweaty smell that sometimes your clothing can get. At the time, I didn't know how to get rid of that. By now, I know how to get rid of it. And it's one of those things where I was like, why did I get rid of it? It is a men's small, so it's not perfect. But this was always really nice and cozy, and I've always loved this print, this gray with the navy and sort of like the neon and the teal. I've always thought it was very special. So I was like, you know what? I would like to own that again. And then I found it for €5 on Vinted, and I was like, gotcha, I would like to have that. So this is the thing that made me realize, like, oh, maybe there are other things that I used to own that I'm kind of missing in my life that I could buy again. And here's another one. This is a bit of a drapey thing, so I do need to like tuck it somehow. This is from Topshop. This I used to own years ago. I think you can find me wearing this on my blog in like blog posts from like 2012. I bought the original version I used to own of this myself in the Topshop in Oxford Street, and I just felt it was a little too casual at a certain point in my life, so I kind of stopped wearing it. but I found it again. I think this is a large or an extra large, and I think I had a medium at the time. But I was like, you know what? It was always this drapey, oversized thing that I liked. And the reason why I missed it is the color. Because that thing is not gray, but it's a pastel rainbow. So from a distance, it looks like a light gray. But then up close, it's a pastel. And that's why I struggled to style it. I'm not gonna lie, the reason why I decluttered this sweater was because I struggled to style the colorway. Because in some lighting it looked gray, and then in other lighting it looked pastel. And now I'm like, why did I get rid of this thing? Because it's so nice. This was a little bit higher priced on Vinted, but it was still someone selling it. And I was like, yeah, I do want that in my life. I've never loved the sleeves, but I do think like it's a little dated. I get it, but I have nostalgia for this one, okay? I have a nostalgia for this one. And it's another item where I'm like, why did I declutter this thing in the first place? And remember my thing about like wanting more printed like sweaters? I should just not have gotten rid of certain things. I just shouldn't have. And here's another one. This is another item where I was like, why did I get rid of this? And this item popped back into my head after buying an item I showed you in my previous haul when I was trying to style it up. I already wore it in a weekend outfit. It was the Joni clothing dress with the bookshelf print. So it's a black dress with like teal and this rusty orange color in the cats and some of the shelving that's in the print. And I was like, oh, you know what would be perfect? That rust colored Urban Outfitters cardigan that I used to own, but that I got rid of because I figured out that this color of orange rusty color, it's not really my shade, okay? This, like if I block out as much of the orange, of the gray as I can, it's just not really doing much for me, okay? It just kind of washes me out. I'm wearing makeup today, so you're not gonna really see it, but I just felt this wasn't my color, which is why I was struggling to style it and to pair it with things. So I was like, you know what? I just don't think this is for me. And then I bought that dress and I was like, shoot, if I still owned that cardigan, it would be perfect. So I went onto Vinted and found it for €5. And I was like, this has been such a great thing. I'm not going to be rebuying anything else. There is really nothing else that I decluttered over the years that is like sparking this thing in my brain, save for these like 4 or 5 things. Like some of the items I got to like replace things were like things I had decluttered quite easily, or I can now declutter because I repurchased the item in a better quality made thing. These are the only like 4 or 5 things that were really tickling my brain, is like, why did I ever get rid of you? Why? So I bought this one for I think €5 as well. Did I already say that? It was a good steal. It was a good deal. It was a really good deal. So here is that rust colored cardigan from Urban Outfitters that I used to own years ago. And for my final item, I don't have something that I bought because it had any form of nostalgia. I was looking for that rainbow pastel thing from Topshop, and then this rainbow cardigan from Urban Outfitters popped up on Vinted, and I was like, right, I want that in my life. I actually found it in like for much cheaper, but it had a huge hole here in the back, and I was like, I'd rather pay a bit more for it and have it be a bit more perfect. With these older style Urban Outfitters cardigans, I can get away with a small. Like this is a small or even an extra small, I believe. So that's why I think this is great. And look at those colors. Look at it. Look at it. I love the yarn. And this sort of like style of knit, well, not the like drape of it and all that, like that makes it super dated. Like this feels like the cardigans I would buy from Urban Outfitters like a decade ago, some of which I do still own that I didn't declutter. But when I went into Urban Outfitters in Edinburgh last fall, they had a lot of like knitwear that had this style of like knit in these like hazy colors with these like, where they all seem to fuse together. So I feel that sort of style of knit is very on trend again. We all know this, trends do come back. So yeah, I do really like this, and because it's not super oversized, I think it can wear with loads of different things. So it does have like really nice baggy sleeves. It's really nice and fluffy. Sure, it's been worn. It's very obvious that it has been, but so pretty. But yeah, those were all the items I wanted to show you in today's video. I really hope you enjoyed watching this one today. I will be back with another fashion haul whenever I have enough items to chat about, which probably won't be until May or June, maybe even July time, because I just feel like I'm pretty set. Like for summer, there is nothing on my wish list. There's one item that I still have saved in my Vinted folder, which is a suede skirt. So I might buy that. And Sézane has a couple of good items in their last chance sort of section currently. But those aren't reduced in price, so I'm still unsure whether I want to do that or not. Their sale is already gone. I should have looked into it, but I completely forgot. So yeah, I may want to. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, I feel pretty satisfied with where my wardrobe is at the minute. So especially now that I've repurchased some of those oldie but goodies, it makes me really, really happy to have some of those things in my life again. And stay tuned for next week, because then I will be showing you a week in outfits, which means you are already going to be seeing some of these items styled up in outfits. Right now I was just throwing them on to show them to you. But if you want to see me wear my outfits, I do also do regular videos with that. So if you want to see how I put outfits together and sort of my thinking process there, then stay tuned, because next week is going to be a week in outfits. I'm very well aware, 3 fashion videos in a row on a channel called Floating in Books, but I haven't really been able to do a lot of fashion content in December and January because we just didn't have the lighting. So I'm trying to make up for it right now. So I hope you do enjoy that, and I will be back with a new video, and I will be back with a news video next week. So hope to see you soon. Bye bye.